Not every tank is built for war. Some machines exist to test ideas. Others are created to break established rules. This is the evolution of Soviet tank prototypes. Vehicles that never entered mass production, but shaped the future of Soviet armored warfare. The T-12 was one of the first serious attempts to create a Soviet medium tank. It weighed around 19 tons and carried a 45mm gun, a competitive level for the late 1920s. The tank proved unreliable, but it marked the true beginning of Soviet medium tank design. The T-19 was designed as a next-generation infantry support tank. Early requirements already included crew protection against chemical weapons. Its growing complexity led to cancellation in favor of the simpler T-26. The TG-1 looked like a tank from the future. Sloped armor and advanced suspension appeared here years ahead of their time. Designed by German engineer Eduard Grote, it proved too complex for Soviet industry. The T-29 attempted to combine the firepower of the T-28 with the speed of BT tanks. It retained a convertible wheel-track system and promised high mobility. This became the last serious Soviet attempt to keep a wheeled driving mode. The SMK was a massive multi-turreted heavy tank weighing over 55 tons. During the Winter War, it was immobilized by a mine. This incident exposed the weaknesses of the multi-turret concept. The T-100 was a direct competitor to the SMK. Longer and more complex, it suffered from the same limitations. Trials of both vehicles led to the adoption of the single-turret KV. The A-20 was a fast prototype using a wheel-track convertible system. Speed was prioritized over armor protection. It represented the final step of the BT fast tank philosophy. The A-32 abandoned wheels and received thicker armor. Trials showed it retained mobility despite increased weight. This prototype directly evolved into the T-34. The KV-220 was an attempt to push the KV concept to its limits. Its weight exceeded 60 tons, and it mounted an 85mm gun. The project proved too heavy even for wartime conditions. The KV-13 explored a tank concept between medium and heavy classes. It aimed to combine compact size with heavy protection. This work directly led to the creation of the IS series. The IS-6 existed in two distinct versions with different transmissions. One variant tested an electromechanical drive. Extremely rare at the time, the tank remained experimental but provided valuable data. Object 257 became a testing platform for new armor geometry. Its sharply angled pike nose was refined here. These solutions later appeared on the IS-3. The IS-7 was among the most powerful tanks ever built. Armed with a 130mm gun, it reached up to 60 kilometers per hour despite weighing nearly 68 tons. Excessive complexity and cost kept it from mass production. Object 430 introduced a new design philosophy. Compact layout and a low silhouette defined the concept. This prototype directly led to the development of the T-64. Object 279 was designed with nuclear warfare in mind. 4 tracks and an elliptical hull were meant to improve survivability. It became the most unconventional heavy tank of the USSR. Object 277 represented a traditional heavy tank armed with a 130mm gun. Despite strong performance, the project was cancelled. This marked the end of Soviet heavy tank development. Object 770 tested hydropneumatic suspension and an advanced hull design. It was the final attempt to perfect the heavy tank concept. Future development shifted toward main battle tanks. Object 287 abandoned a conventional gun in favor of guided missiles. Its low profile looked promising on paper. In practice, the system proved overly complex. Object 775 was extremely low, under 1.75 meters tall. A 2-man crew operated from a protected capsule. Combat limitations ended the project. Object 780 experimented with unconventional crew placement. The driver sat in a stabilized capsule inside the turret. The idea proved impractical for real combat use. Object 432 marked a true breakthrough. Composite armor and an autoloader reduced the crew to 3. This prototype became the production T-64. The IT-1 became the only missile tank ever accepted into service. It relied exclusively on guided missiles. Its service life was short, but the experience was unique. Object 219 became the foundation of the T-80. A gas turbine engine provided exceptional acceleration and cold weather performance. This required a completely new tank layout. Object 187 was an alternative path toward the future T-90. It tested new armor layouts and an improved main gun. Many solutions were ahead of their time. Object 490 explored extreme crew protection concepts. Some variants placed the crew inside a heavily armored capsule. These ideas reflected late Cold War fears. Object 299 was envisioned as a universal heavy platform, a single chassis for multiple combat vehicles. The concept proved too complex to realize. Object 477, known as Mullet, was one of the most secret Soviet projects. It tested large-caliber weapons and advanced fire control systems. The collapse of the USSR halted its development. Object 292 became the final chapter of the era. A 152mm smoothbore gun was mounted on a T-80 chassis. Trials were successful, but history ended first. These tanks never entered mass production. But it was here, in test grounds and design bureaus, that the future of armored warfare was forged. This was the evolution of Soviet tank prototypes.